last we left the Troll Skull Club, Harvey, having misheard, having his perception changed by the contract that he made with the Nine Hells, having heard his party member and friend, Quick, say something horrible to him, left in the middle of the night out into the city of Emberfell. And that's where we picked up this session. Harvey headed into the Gleaming Heart, a district of the city of Emberfell in the Underdark, which is where the religious center of the city was. I say was because as the rest of the city during the Dorgar operation has pretty much looked like normal and not like anything has happened, the Gleaming Heart is where there is signs of destruction, signs of attack on the city. It seems that the new leaders of the city don't really care for the religious center of it, and has attacked and discarded those who have tried to meet there and congregate there. So Harvey kind of flying in, I had him roll a religion check, but Harvey's not trained really in religion, so he didn't recognize a lot of the symbols of the temples. He did recognize the symbol of Torm, the right white-fisted gauntlet. Those right white. Yep, words are hard. This figure, this gauntlet, he recognized that from Sundry, the Oath of Vengeance paladin, one of the party members, the high elven paladin ass kicker. And he also noticed the symbol of Selûne, who is Bryn, our monk cleric's patron. Harvey decides to head over to the Selûne temple and just kind of perch, as Aarakocras are wont to do. And he notices an elderly drow man enter, and he seems to begin to start cleaning up the temple. At this point, our other party members have decided to try and follow Harvey, trying to find him, and try to make up for whatever's happening, especially since Harvey has the keys to the auction house that they're trying to break into. So the rest of our party members head off into the city, and they head towards the Gleaming Heart district. A nice locate creature spell assisted with the expediency of their search for the party member. They all kind of meet at this Selûne temple. Bryn, being a cleric of Selûne, is saddened, obviously, to see the disrepair that the church has kind of gone into, but also is kind of confused. Bryn is from Everesca, which is kind of where the High Temple of Selûne is sat upon. And they are very well connected to the High Temple of Selûne, and they know lots of people there. And so it really disheartens Bryn having a conversation with Nobuk, who is the keeper of this temple, the elderly drow man who's kind of watching over it right now. And finding out that Nobuk and the other members of this temple of Selûne reached out to Everesca, they reached out to the High Temple, and they were told essentially that they're not important enough, and that them being in the Underdark and being a temple in the Underdark, that they're not a real temple of Selûne, and that they don't walk in her light, which very much upsets Bryn, as one of the reasons Bryn left the temple of Selûne was because Bryn thought that they should be doing more for the outside world and not just for Everesca. And so there's some great role play with Bryn and with Nobuk, just talking about the temple, talking about what's going on right now, and learning that information. During this time, Bryn has the Staff of the Serpent, which we've cleverly nicknamed the snake, the giant constrictor snake that the staff turns into, Snaky Snake. And I told Bryn that the staff transforms into the snake, and the snake goes into this fountain that's in the center of the temple, and essentially goes into the water of the fountain, and it begins to gleam with this moonlight. And Snaky Snake gets a little bit of an upgrade. I went into D&D Beyond, into their homebrew section, and homebrewed up Snaky Snake, a version of the creature that has a little bit more abilities. I thought it would be fun for Bryn to have a little bit of, for Bryn Snake to have more of a thematically appropriate abilities, especially since this staff and this snake creature have kind of become part of Bryn's character, a lot so. And so I had Selune basically blessed this snake and gave them a healing bite, which is a bite attack that it can take on, a friendly creature, and it has the same properties as a first level Cure Wounds, which is great for, like I've said, this party, I said in the last video, this party has a lot of abilities for healing capabilities, and I don't think I should punish or take away from that. If anything, I just need to be better about taking away those opportunities to just heal. So I gave them a new opportunity to heal with this snake, which probably goes against what I was just saying, but because I thought it'd be fun and thematically appropriate. And you know what? They can keep on healing them back up, and I'll keep on knocking them back down. So it's going to be great. And also, Snaky Snake now has a healing aura around them, and so any healing spell cast within, I think, a 10-foot radius of the snake heals max healing. We're gonna play with this stuff. Is obviously homebrewed, and I'm gonna play around with it and see if it, breaks the game or whatever. But honestly, I think it's fun. It's fun to have a healing snake, especially healing by Selune, and also I like giving the characters options, giving the players options, because that just means that I, as a DM, have to be creative and come up with options myself. So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. So that happens, and Notebook has my favorite part of this session, honestly, was Notebook and Bryn, just being able to give Bryn more opportunity to roleplay, but also I love the relationship Bryn has with Selune. It's been one of my favorite things about this campaign so far. It's been playing with their relationship, and also of what it means to be a cleric, because and what temples in our world mean. Because it's like a cleric is a follower of a god who, is blessed with powers and capabilities, stuff like that. But what are you supposed to do with that? What does that mean? And so playing with this, the idea of the small church versus the mega church. We talked a little bit about that with the High Temple of Selune and this smaller temple in the Underdark. I described the High Temple of Selune like a mega church, which, if you don't know what mega church is, they're horrible, disgusting corporations. Not to go off on a tangent, and so it's just interesting to play with what is the role of a cleric in a adventuring world, and so that's just been really fun to play with. And Bryn, Jed, who plays Bryn so brilliantly, I've just been having a lot of fun doing that, and I can't wait for us to get. Not that I want to speed up the Underdark, but I'm just excited to get out of the Underdark so that the other players can follow their stories that have been moving along, obviously. I've been trying to give them opportunities to move those stories forward, even if they are just in emotional ways and more in emotional and kind of like thought ways of like, hey, think about where your story's headed and what you maybe need to do next, so that when we get out of the Underdark, we can kind of your character can figure out where that is and what needs to happen next. And so I think the Underdark has made the players think about things in different ways that have maybe changed or given them ideas to further their own stories, which is something that I've been wanting to do, because this Underdark story is so focused on quick. I also want to give those other players opportunities for their stories to advance, even if it's not, you find your arch enemy and kill them. Maybe it's just, hey, here's just something to make you think about what's going on, currently in your player's mind right now, or your character's mind right now. So the players all meet together. Harvey has this realization that he believes that this mark is messing with his mind, and he wants to do something about it. He doesn't know what that is yet, but that he needs help, essentially. And so that was a really great moment between Harvey and Quick, just having that, oh, yeah, there is something going on, and you just need to trust that I wouldn't say anything like that, and you need to tell me if you think this mark is messing with your perception of reality. And so that's a lot of fun, and I explained to Cameron a little bit of what the actual corruption point system is going to look like from now on, because as much fun as it was to roleplay like, oh, you thought they said that, but this is actually what they said, is fun, but also feels a little bit cheap on my end, because I can do that whenever I want. So I wanted to give Cameron a trackable system of mechanics so that he knows when something like that's going to come up, instead of me just it's fun to throw things at them, sure, but I think there needs to be a mechanical component to it rather than just me role playing. Hey, your mind's fucked up, haha. You didn't know it was, but it is. Felt a little bit cheap on my end, so I wanted to give it a mechanical reasoning for it. After that, the players all decided that they needed to go to the auction house. They believe that at the auction house there should be a ledger which has information about all of the purchases and transactions that have happened at the auction house. Specifically, where Quick and Aurora's children are. Quick and Aurora having, her children having been lost for 5 years in the Underdark somewhere. They believe that, okay, we can grab this ledger. It'll hopefully tell us where they were sold off to, and maybe we can figure out where it is from there. Which led us to the auction house encounter, which was a lot of fun. I didn't make it to be a very difficult, it wasn't going to be a difficult encounter. It wasn't going to be something that's like, and you fight a purple worm, fuck you. No, this was very much like, all right, at the current state of the auction house, you going there the same day, because one of the characters mentioned, like, we stole the keys, so if we wait long, they'll probably up the security there. So they decided to go the same day, which I thought was very smart. So I had 2 different versions of the encounter, one for if they waited a day or two, and one for if they did it the same night. Obviously, if they waited a day or two, I was going to up the amount of Duergar there. But they went to the same day, so the Duergar was a pretty easy manageable number, especially for them. They head in there, go through a couple rooms. They only have to fight like 2 Duergar because they go in through a back way, and they're able to easily kind of find the office of the auction house manager. Again, this auction house, it's large, but there's a lot of rooms or showrooms and stuff like that. So it's not a difficult thing to find the manager's room in a place like that. It's not hidden or anything. Bryn, however, does find a secret compartment to a staircase that descends down beneath the auction house. And it was a DC 20 to find it, and Bryn made that check. But they didn't have time to go check it out. So that was interesting because I did put that in there as... I'm not going to say exactly what it's down there, but the characters would have been very, very interested to have seen what was down there. So it does suck that they weren't able to get down there, but maybe they'll come back. Who knows? Either way, they get to the auction manager's house, and this is where I introduced something that I've been thinking about playing with the mechanics in a little bit. So 5e Dungeons & Dragons loves advantage. If you want to do anything, if you want to reward a player, give them advantage. If another player wants to help another player do something, do it with advantage. I think advantage is great, and I think it's fun, and something I'm still going to use a lot, but I wanted to try out this new method, which is if you're going to have another party member assist you, you roll once, but you add both modifiers. So say if you're doing an investigation check, and I'm going to get Joe Schmo over there to assist me with that, I have a +2 investigation, he has a +5. I roll once, and I add the +7 to the total. So for right now, for the level that they are at, I think that's because they're at they're level 9 right now. That seems to work, and that the players seem to be interested because it is still a gamble. You could still roll a natural 1, and even with a +23 or whatever, you still roll a natural 1. So it's not going to be not every party member can assist, and so you're adding +50 or whatever. You can only have one party member assist, and you add theirs on top of yours. I liked that because I think it fits more thematically with hey, if someone's helping you do an investigation check, wouldn't you add their investigation with it too? I think that just makes sense, because you could roll with advantage, but you're still rolling the same, so you could roll low both times, and then you don't have a high enough bonus. So you can either roll twice or roll once with a bigger number, which I think gives the players choices and still plays with, the kind of the gamble of you're still using dice. It could still go either way. So I gave them that choice, and Lauren, who plays Quick, decided to have Mara, a NPC ally who's a dragonborn wizard, assist with an investigation check, which was good because Mara does have a high investigation, being a very high intelligence caster. And they're able to do I think it was like they made like a 25 or something. It was ridiculous because she rolled high and then they added it all together. Which is good because I had done tiered levels of information. Essentially, if they rolled above a 10, they were going to get this much information. If they rolled above a 20 or above, they were going to get this information. So they got all of the information possible. Essentially finding out that Quicken Hour's children did come through the auction house. They were sold to a person. It was classified what the selling was. It wasn't like a workstation or anything like that. They were classified under research, and they were sold to a person by the name of Archmage Val Zur, which instantly catches Mara off guard. Not because she knows who that is, but just because the title Archmage is not something given just willy-nilly. It's not something that you can just go and get anywhere. It's not something you can call yourself either. It is a title that is given, and it is for a very powerful casters. Very powerful casters. Obviously, you're an Archmage. And so that clicked something in Harvey's brain that they had while they were first entering into the city of Emberfell. I had them roll on a rumors table. One of the rumors was that above the city of Emberfell, there is a floating kind of citadel, kind of like a obsidian, it's like a pyramid that floats above the city, and that supposedly there is some sort of research or something. People are sent there. People are experimented on there. And so Harvey remembers that and goes, oh, that might be where they are. They might be in that floating citadel, and they might be with the Archmage might be up there too. And after that moment, they have to rush away because more guards are coming, and they head off back to the tavern that they're staying at. And that's where we ended the session, which is really fun because they were able to get a lot of information. They had a lot of great role playing with Bryn and Nobuk and the Temple of Selûne, and also we're hitting the end game here. There are 4 days left until the revolution. They now have concrete information about where Quicken Hour's children went, and I mean, obviously they don't know if they're still there, but they have their first real solid clue about where to look. And they have plenty of options now. They could go back to the Revolutionary Army and say, hey, can you get us into that floating citadel? Maybe they'll assist with the revolution. They could also go towards the Sapphire Tree, which is kind of the center for arcane learning and knowledge within the city of Emberfell. They could try talking to the head seeker there and see if she knows anything about the Archmage that lives above the city. There are lots of areas for the players to kind of go towards, and I'm excited to see what they choose. I essentially only have all right, if they go here, this is information they can learn. If they go here, it's going to be this next session is just going to be a lot more of me kind of rolling with whatever they want to do, because I already have the major events, encountered out, like the revolution attack, and if they go, assist with that. So I'm just kind of waiting to see. I just kind of have to, this next couple sessions probably just get me rolling with whatever they want to do. And we could get to this revolution pretty quickly if they just decide, hey, we're going to hang out at the base camp for 4 days and attack with them. That's a possibility. And then it's fun times. So that's all. These campaign diaries are a lot of fun. I know they're really only for me and my players, but hey, you know what? It's D&D, it's YouTube, whatever, do what you want. Either way, my name's John. I don't know why I said that at the end of the video, but it's cool. Either way, I'll catch you later.